Can I be real or is it boring? To give you a peace of mind, cause mine is so enormous. Way past the norm, Norman, while you're conforming. Like comforting mattresses.
What up, though? It's that nigga Mom, man. So, we about to react to this video about Nolan Wells, man. There's been a lot of discourse and, confusion going on with this Nolan Wells shit. Like, we already know. I'm going to tell you what I know so far. Or what I believe and from speculation. I believe he was executed by his friends. Now, there's other stuff that been coming out that my brother been telling me about, like this guy named Bart. We're gonna probably check a video out on that for another video, but this particular video is just on the fake friends in general. It's a police report exposes Nolan Wells' fake friends. So we about to get right into this. Before we get into it, like, subscribe, and share so we hit that 100K today. I hope shit works out because we seen in real time them trying to cover some shit up. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Let me continue. Look for my air freshener. I'm like, that motherfucker at.
Out in the Nolan Wells case, and people all over the internet already starting to poke holes through the whole thing. They saying it's lies through.
And this is Big Kish channel, so for y'all that want to look at more of his content, it's Big Kish. So let's press play.
Throughout the whole police report. Also, there's more video of Nolan Wells in the water. But it's a little snippet. I guess when you're in the water, you just pan your camera around, get your footage, and put your phone back up. But there is a little snippet of Nolan Wells in the water. I don't know what time of the day it was, but the other side going to say it was way past when his friends had left. But we don't know what time of the day it was. But let's get into these videos, y'all. Check it out.
Hey, Nolan Wells deniers. Why do you think that his friends told the cops that they didn't know
like you can't
the girl
see my arm.
that he went with? Weird how in Warren's little interview he fails to mention that he spoke with the deputies and several friends claimed they didn't know the girl he left with right here, 1:30 in the morning, even though they were supposedly texting with Katie, right? Didn't get their story straight yet. Right there, in black and white, the boys lied. Or are we going to pretend that this isn't evidence too?
In the Bible it says their pride had deceived them. And we all know pride comes before the fall. They are so used to getting away with certain things in their little city. They think that the world is going to go for it. And this is why he think he could go on these interviews like these people are going to believe me. No.
Out of everybody, go to TMZ, go to CNN, you go to Officer Tatum. And y'all know what he represent. The people he represent for.
People are going to expose your ass.
Your clients dream big. Your agency builds bigger.
That's crazy. You so
Faster.
singled out, they could spot you just like that because you're like a piece of pepper, a little grain of pepper in a sea of salt. You know what I'm saying?
This doesn't say anything, and I'm going to show y'all where they pointing at. We don't know the time this was, but that does look like Nolan Wells down here in the water.
Okay.
Right here, y'all.
Yeah, with the glasses. That's crazy.
That looks like him. But that isn't saying anything. I don't know who this came from, but I'm sure Tatum is going to take this and say, see? Look, this video is from after the friends had left. Then they're going to allegedly probably send it to TMZ. TMZ going to come out with their little articles and shit and try to spin the whole narrative. But, like I said, God has the last word, y'all.
Well, we have the Nolan Wells police report, and the friends have a little explaining to do. Just a heads up, this is just part one. This is a 15-page police report. For reference.
Yeah, that's why I'm glad that bitch-ass motherfuckers went on Brandon Tatum shit, trying to so-called clear shit up. Because they just told on themselves. That's all they did. They went to a known Sambo. I call him a black coon. A known black coon. You know what I'm saying? And You see?
Right here is the MDMR Marine Patrol Police Report. You can see the incident report directly up there. It is public record, so you guys can look it up. I want to point your attention to two specific areas of this report, starting right here. And here is the first discrepancy right here. Dispatch said that her 18-year-old son rode to Horn Island on a vessel with friends. He was last seen around 1500 hours. Here's the discrepancy. His phone was in a friend's truck. I'm sorry, I thought all the friends said that the phone was still in the boat. And the second discrepancy is right here. Lieutenant Karen said that his deputies had spoke with several friends that traveled to the island on the vessel with Nolan, and they said that he left with the company of an unknown female. I'm sorry, what do you mean an unknown female? You all knew who Katie McCormick was and is. What do you mean an unknown female? You all knew exactly who he was on the island with. They were very clear about that. They knew who he was on the island with. But here they're saying, we don't know who she was. We know.
And the phone call don't make it no motherfucking better. The phone call just really like sealed the deal. These niggas, they done did something to that boy.
Girl, but we don't know who she was. All of a sudden, she went from having a name of Katie McCormick with all the recent media, covers that we've been seeing, but in the original police report, it was an unknown female. Remember, this is just part one.
Then I started to think, did the stepmother, who is a judge, coach them into not saying the name or mentioning Bart's name or Katie's name? Because as of late, we got the picture of Bart and Katie hugged up.
Wait a minute. The state of Mississippi is trying to reshape the narrative on the Nolan Wells death? Really? So
Of course.
It's been reported that Nolan Wells, witnesses have come forward to say that Nolan Wells was drinking heavily during the day of the 4th of July.
So?
As to say, that's why he drowned. Because remember, authorities have already come out and said, even before they did the autopsy, that Nolan Wells drowned. And his mother, Christine Wansley, said that was not good enough for her. That she needed a medical explanation as to what led up to those events of him.
Yeah.
If they say he drowned, right? Now let me ask y'all something.
And not to be cutting it short, but some shit I heard from Flacco, he was saying, nigga, a bunch of these racist, evil, wicked, soulless motherfuckers had went to the comment section of whatever workplace she at, like some nursing type shit, and you can leave a comment or a recommendation or a rating on a certain person, and they just leaving her bad ratings on whole ass shit just because she's pursuing figuring out what happened. She never said they did anything. She never said that. Al Sharpton didn't say no shit like that. Ben Crump ain't say no shit like that. It's just their perception of it is they gotta face accountability for this racist shit. That's why they hate when racism get brought up, but when racist shit happen, they they wanna attack us and not be attacked.
He was the only one on Horn Island with his group of friends that was drinking. Let's go back through the evidence. Now, as you can see, the gentleman right next to Nolan Wells has beer dripping all down his chest. The other guy had a beer can in his hand. Now, these children are all under the age of 21. None of them can legally purchase alcohol except for Bart. Wait a minute. Bart, were you the one who bought the alcohol for the underage that day on the boat on Horn Island? Was it you? Oh, this plot is just really thickening. Not to mention, if Nolan was drinking, if the toxicology come back and he did have alcohol, that doesn't negate the fact that something nefarious happened on that island.
Yeah,
just because Bart was drinking is going to lead to all these things that we see plain as day in our face. We're just going to bypass this, right? We also are going to forget the fact that allegedly they deleted everything off of their social media.
Niggas on the internet doing better job than the fucking police, cause the police in on the shit. They be partaking, like whenever these lynchings happen and they report it as a unaliving of self, a self unaliving. They did it. They did it, and they do it quick. Oh, it's ruled as this, instantly. That let you know these motherfuckers did it.
Ounce. We're gonna not think about, oh, Nolan was drinking, so now they got a. If Nolan was drinking, why everybody got a lawyer up? Why everybody got an attorney? And if Nolan was heavily drinking on the 4th of July, we just gonna forget the fact that the telephone calls for the tip line was routed to Judge Ashley Cole's office instead of going to the Jackson County Sheriff's Department. Really? Yeah,
That's
going
wild.
routed to Judge Ashley Cole's office instead of going to the Jackson County Sheriff's Department.
They on some
Really?
dirty shit.
Yeah, all these things cannot be coincidental.
They trying to and they doing it right in our faces.
That now Governor Tate Reeves is coming out trying to assault Ben Crump's character, call him a bold-faced lie. Really? We just gonna negate the fact
And he ain't say nothing yet. What he said? Ben Crump ain't said nothing incriminating or towards the boys or nothing. They just said they just gonna figure out, they gonna get to the bottom of it.
At the Sheriff's Department, the day of, right when they pulled Nolan Wells' body out of the water, stated it was a drowning. Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
I just want to know this. With those children who were drinking, nobody is drawing attention to that. And even if Nolan was drunk on the 4th of July, that does not give anybody a pass to do anything harmful to him or take his life because he was drunk, and it does not fall on him. That does not make him responsible for leaving here.
That's right.
It's y'all fault. Now, what y'all boys out there on Ocean Springs out there hiding and you got your parents involved? What's really going on down there?
But she has been cooking. She deserves some follows, y'all. I don't know if she have a YouTube, but she is on TikTok as Kimmy's World. Y'all go support this sister, y'all. Yeah. But I find it very suspicious that the tip line phone number goes straight to the judge. And it makes me believe that what they're doing with those tips is nothing.
I know I'm supposed to be working, but I had to stop to tell y'all this. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump has sent out litigation letters to each and every person who was around Nolan Wells during his disappearance. And these letters are warning them that they are to keep every single text message, Snapchat, photo, cooler, any evidence that could be used in this case. And if you ask me, those kids should have already been arrested and detained until we have answers. But at least this attorney is taking the necessary steps to try to preserve any evidence. I know they're trying to spin this narrative that Nolan was drunk, but baby, Warren already messed that up when he said that Nolan was fine. This media blitz that people like Warren and Tristan are out here doing isn't working.
It ain't helping them.
We don't believe it. And that smear campaign that TMZ is on, we definitely don't believe that one. These kids may have lawyered up already and deleted their social medias, but baby...
And they people got bread. They up there paying off TMZ. Well, you don't even got to do that with TMZ. They'll do it
let me tell
probably
you,
for free.
All of that is going to be retrieved. And when this case gets cracked, they are going to be held.
And they got the black nigga up front for the TMZ shit.
Liable.
The number one and the main reason why I'm not going to believe that there's a timeline saying that 18-year-old Nolan Wells was truly seen after 6 p.m. is because we have not heard that from 18-year-old Nolan Wells' mom. At least I have not seen that. If anybody's seen that from 18-year-old Nolan Wells' mom, that she posted that there's a new sighting after 6 p.m. that's been confirmed to be 18-year-old Nolan Wells, please let me know where that's at. But if you have not seen that, then I don't believe it. Because Nolan Wells' mom has done a wonderful job with letting everybody know about that timeline, saying, hey, there's a picture that we believe is Nolan after 4:34 p.m. So anytime that she received any new details that she felt like it may have really been 18-year-old Nolan Wells, she's came out and added that timeline so everybody will have that timeline. So therefore, people will start looking for times after that time to see if they saw 18-year-old Nolan Wells. And again, it still doesn't make any sense if Lucas is allegedly that person that said that he saw 18-year-old Nolan Wells after 6 p.m. Due to the fact that inside of that same clip that he did his interview, we saw Javon in there as if they're alleging that Javon rode with Lucas to and from the island. So if Javon did ride with Lucas to and from the island, how would he then still be on the island at 6 p.m. if Javon was said to leave before 5 p.m.? In fact, somebody came out and said that they were Javon's ride and that Javon left the island with them, and it was shortly after 4. But then you have Ivy Elizabeth stating that Javon Williams had stayed on their boat checking on Tracy Shepard allegedly till close to time for them to leave, which was around 5 p.m. Also, I don't believe Lucas. You can believe Lucas if you would like to believe Lucas. In my personal opinion, he's a liar. In my personal opinion, he's only came out and said the things that he said to try to help to cover up for somebody else. Yes, absolutely. I could be wrong. This is just my opinion, and I want everybody to remember that this is my opinion, and I truly don't believe that they have any eyewitnesses of 18-year-old Nolan Wells after 6 p.m.
From the very first moment that the search for Nolan Wells began, and everyone was looking for answers, why in the hell these two people allegedly are the witnesses wait 20-something days later to say that they saw Nolan Wells after 6 p.m. It doesn't make sense, and I remember, people do get paid off to say things, allegedly.
I'm gonna get mad, but I really don't give a damn. Governor of Mississippi, since we calling people out, let's call everybody out. If we're gonna call Ben Crump out, then why the fuck aren't you calling these kids out when there are discrepancies in their stories? Why aren't you calling that man out for going on Nancy Grace and allegedly not standing on what he previously said? Why aren't you calling out the Mississippi State Police Department for the way this investigation has been handled? Why aren't you calling out the people responsible for keeping the public in an uproar? Because we still don't have any clear answers. Because if the principle is going to be the same for Big Crump, then that principle needs to be the same across the goddamn board. You don't get to shine a flashlight on somebody else and then turn that motherfucker off when it gets to you. Look in the mirror. You are the governor. You lead by example. So if you got so much to say about what somebody else is doing, then tell us what the fuck is going on with the questions we have. Where is the autopsy information? What happened to the throat tissue? What information can you give this family about the findings? Why was the public not giving clear explanations about these issues sooner? And why the hell are we listening to an audio recording where people are allegedly calling for help, but the audio is so unclear that we're still sitting here trying to figure out what the fuck was happening? Make that shit make sense, because you can't demand accountability from one person while everybody else gets the goddamn pass. That's not accountability. That's selective accountability. And until I hear,
and they done cleared it up by now, but she probably recorded this before she discovered the video.
To the questions that this family and this public have been asking, I don't want to hear shit about Ben Crump. At least he's over there trying to get answers for this family. So, Governor, if you want to call somebody out, call everybody out. Call your own people out. Call the agencies out. Call the people whose stories don't line up out. And then come back and tell us what the fuck happened to Nolan Wells, because that's what the hell we want to know.
For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God, to the pulling down of strongholds. The news just came out and tried to back up everything that TMZ was saying. They tried to come out and lean on Nolan Wells was drunk and stayed at the island. These are strongholds that we're going to need God for. All my prayer warriors, all my spiritual people, hell, if you don't even believe in the Most High, and you support Nolan Wells, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to meditate. But for all my prayer warriors, y'all get in that closet, y'all know what to do, because these people are working day and night, losing sleep, trying to figure out how they're gonna wiggle their way through this.
Yeah.
And blame Nolan Wells
just like the Carmelo Anthony shit.
But we know what the hell is up.
Yeah, we know what's going on.
They even had a nerve on ABC to play the audio.
Donovan McKinney is fighting for a Detroit we can all afford. Medicare.
I don't watch the news. Them niggas be programming and conditioning them niggas, having them being stupid and shit, just following everything.
Vote for Donovan McKinney.
and chop out the parts where we heard what we heard in the background. These are the strongholds, y'all. These people have a stronghold on us because most people think when they come out and say something, most people take it as fact.
Credible,
why? Because they have white man Christ in their head. Because they have a white man God in their head. So when they see white people on the news saying something, they take it as a fact. These are the strongholds that we must cast down, y'all. And we don't have to use weapons. Why? Because God is on our side. Y'all get in the comment section.
Okay.
Y'all let me know what y'all...
Yeah, man. That shit, hey, shout out to Big Kish, man. And shout out to all those creators who have showed on this page, man. All that shit is crazy, man, because I've been watching, you know, everything, man. Like, let me go back to my history. You'll see. I wasn't playing, nigga. I was watching everything about this nigga because I was watching this just not too long ago. I'm going to watch this for the next video, but with that being said, man, like, subscribe, and share so we hit that 100K today. Stay peaceful, productive, and positive. It's that nigga mine, and much love. And rising power to Nolan Wells, man. Sending my condolences to his family.
Can I be real or is it boring? To give you a peace of mind, cause mine is so enormous. Way past the norm, Norman, while you're conforming. Like comforting mattresses that comfort them when torment snoring. Like you in your own home without home phone. I'm on like E.T., got a phone home past the moon. It's not a movie, I'm about to fly past it soon. Spiritually, I roam alone. Physically, I'm eating off.